Hope everyone had a nice, enjoyable, warm, sunny afternoon. Got up to 23 degrees here in Wells. Very windy today, and that's dry, hot conditions what fueled a bunch of wildfires today to break out. The good news in BC is despite having a cold front coming in right now, it's going to change things. It's going to calm things down a little bit in the days ahead. So a dramatic couple days, yeah, it often is when it gets like this. The good news is things will settle down a little bit. They will a little bit. But it's all this wind, obviously, that's helped push fires so much everywhere. Another bit of good news is we didn't have a bunch of lightning come with this new cold front, right? So we're not going to see a situation yet where fires are going to start waking up out in the bush next time it gets warm. So, from a bunch of lightning strikes all over the place. So far, there's some good news to take here. I mean, it's been pretty dramatic for a couple, pretty dramatic images today. A couple days of dramatic. Of course, there's the fire in Fort St. John. That's prompted evacuations. There's the fire that broke out in Hickson today that is very visible from the highway, to say the least. I know Ian that was out prospecting with yesterday drove by it. He said, looks like someone's property, so hoping the best for them. I know there's 19 wildfire personnel on that right now. I hear there might be helicopters and tankers inbound as well if there's not already been. Yeah, there's that. I've seen smoke from Quesnel that I was putting on the YouTube here and on Interior Weather and Wilderness Watchers, so you could see that. And it turns out that's coming from Alexis Creek. There's a fire at Spoken Lake outside Williams Lake. There's a fire southeast of Prince George. There's one out in Ground Birch as well in the piece. There's a bunch of new fire starts and some ones down south. We'll try to look at as many as we can right now and give you a little bit of an update. Okay, let's go. There it is. This is bad news. My God. Falling out right now. Anything can happen. Get on! Wow. I'll watch the video later. They dry up in this. Hit like, share, subscribe if you don't mind. It helps a guy out. So here's looking at the Diggy's Diner weather station today. Hit 23 Celsius here in Wells. That's very, very warm. I know we hit 30 in Kamloops. Had our first 30-degree day in BC already on just May 2nd. Quite surprising. And had a wind gust here of 47 kilometers an hour. So that's kind of the wind. And I know a lot of places were windier even than this. That's what my weather station got in front of the house here. So, low humidity, hot air, windy conditions, poof, fire goes for a run. So let's look at some of these fires. So we got this one outside Alexis Creek. Its exact location, I'm not exactly sure of. There's a bunch of weird, maybe some of this is smoke that the satellite's picking up. Nonetheless, there's a significant signature, I call that, because we have several clusters. It's not just one or two squares. We got several clusters. Unfortunately, our Spoken Lake one happened after last satellite pass. So I don't have an image of that yet. This one is the one outside on Willowcale Road, so that's not far from Prince George. That's out there, but pretty close to a lot of properties. And there's the Hickson one, of course, that hasn't had a chance for a satellite to fly over yet as well, because that's later in the day. That one broke out, so we'll probably see some images from that in a day or so. And then up here, this is probably the Ground Birch one right here, somewhere near the highway. That looks pretty suspicious. I know that's about where Ground Birch is, because I've cowboyed up there in the Sunset Community Pasture, built a lot of fences there, especially too. Some more spots down here that could be wildfire as well from another fire that we have. So a couple fires on the go. Don't have anything on the imagery from Fort St. John. So that's interesting, though. I heard there was some evacuations there today. I suppose I could give you better details. I have access to a lot of details, actually, whether we'll get into that today or not. This is just a sort of preliminary look. That is not fire. That's right. It's probably a flare-off or something like that being seen. And there's a couple of dots in random places out there in the northeast that are concerning to me as well. So that's a little bit of fire activity in BC. Nothing too crazy. Got a couple of dots down here in indescript places. I'm not able to guess if that's anything. This guy out here in the middle of nowhere in Penticton is a little bit interesting. And then this here on the American side, that's most definitely a fire south of Grand Forks. That looks like quite a bit of activity there just west of Dulwich, Washington. Here's what we have still on the Fort St. John fire. That's 56 hectares, out of control still. It's classified as, what do we have here on the extra details? Discovered yesterday. What do we have for response here? I'll click on this. And so helicopters, air tankers are on site. Crews are working to establish hose lines to deliver water to the fire's edge. I like how they're doing this now. And they got the weather summary. The Fort St. John zone is expected to see very warm and dry conditions today, but the cold front passes through overnight. That's why it's so windy, folks, bringing a shift to west-southwest winds up to 50 kilometers an hour. Temperatures will remain 7 to 11. Humidity recoveries will be limited, meaning fuels may stay receptive to fire overnight, but a noticeable cool down is expected with highs of 13 to 17, but drier and strong westerly winds are still going to be part of the problem. So despite cooler temperatures, wildfire risk will remain fairly high there, although we'll see some precip coming down through the Caribou. That should help us with our situation. So I'm guessing this is the ground birch one that we just saw. That seems about right. Looks about the right location. So here's this one, G70221, outside Chetwynd, 90 hectares already. It's spreading. It's anticipated to spread beyond its current perimeter. Let's look at the full details on this one. That's right on the highway, so that's interesting. So out of control fire, 90 hectares. A response, that's the one that I'm interested in. 15 firefighters on site right now. It's burning rank 3-4, so it's moderately fast-moving flame front, organized. Occasionally, candling can be seen along the perimeter or within the fire. Moderate rate of spread is likely due to winds from the southwest. And that's the image today of that ground birch fire. Cooking. So a number of fires up there that are concerning. What's this guy here? It looks like it's been burning up that Highway 52. There's 2 fires there. So there's G70192. Okay, it's the same fire, I guess. 185 hectares out of control. What are we looking at for the response? That's what I'm most concerned about. Discovered on May 2nd. Yeah, look at that nice knob right alongside the highway there, burning right off. It's based on most current information. It's 185 hectares. Probably has already grown past that. Evacuation alerts and orders are put into place by local authorities, so I have no information on that right now. G70192, that's what's happened, is merged with G70195 and G70187. So crews and heavy equipment are working there. Overnight, the ignition operations were successfully conducted, so they did some back burning. Heavy equipment's partially effective. Today, suppression efforts focused on the north flank. Helicopters are actively bucketing. Ongoing warm and dry conditions. The fire activity is expected to increase through the day, particularly during the afternoon, so that's probably what happened, but we got the cooler weather coming. Danger will still remain elevated in the piece nonetheless. So our fire out there at Willow Kale is being held, it says, so that's good news. Still out of control, though. At last we heard outside Hickson there. Is this guy. This is a concerning one. That was all the images we've seen. G10226. It's spreading, anticipated to spread right now. 70 hectares already. Oh my God, that's crazy. And it's not in a good side of town, folks. So this is concerning. Luckily, the weather is going to be helpful to us. There's that. But what do we got for response so far? Hickson Fire Department responded. 19 wildfire service on site. Personnel due to aggressive buyer behavior. It could jump the highway or anything like that. So this is really concerning stuff. There's no image on here yet. So 2 around Williams Lake. We got this guy at Spoken Lake. Right here. Spoken Lake C20227. C for Caribou, so that's in the Caribou Fire Center. It's 0.6 hectares, but it's still classified out of control, so I don't know what we got for response on that one. BCWS crews are responding to the wildfires, all it says. So I'm going to guess that particular fire, we don't have a lot of details on, is probably the most likely thing. So what's this over by Alexis Creek? This is the one we were looking at first with some of that weird clusters of hot spots that were showing up. That's C50222, 15 hectares. Kicking off a lot of smoke, though. I'm sure it grew quite a bit more than that because it was last updated at 7:20 p.m. Okay, that's not bad. So maybe it's only up to 15 hectares. We'll see. I don't know. That looked like a lot of smoke from the direction I was looking, and it seems to be the only thing on firms. There's an initial attack crew and a unit crew is responding to the wildfire. Looks like we got one near Beaverdell, just north of Beaverdell. That's Highway 33 there. And Highway 33 goes south from Kelowna. That's N60228 is that fire outside Beaverdell. I fought a fire in Beaverdell before. It's only at 0.09 hectares so far listed. I fought a fire on top of a Mount Curry there, I think it was called, outside Beaverdell. Back in 2018. We got one more at Southeast Fire Center there to the west of Invermere. I don't like to seeing it west of towns or southwest of towns. That's N20230. Just 1.1 hectares is all we have on the details of that so far. And it looks like we got 3 new fires around the Fort Nelson area as well. I don't have a lot of details on that yet. Again, I could have more details. I've just not been home for the last 4 hours to come in, and it's all these new details. So I'm trying to sift through as much as I can myself. But yeah, a couple new fires up there as well being reported today. And what's pushing this? I mean, look, we got 25s, 24s up in Dawson Creek reported still 35 minutes ago. It's warm out there, man. It's only May 2nd. It was up to 30 in Kamloops, at only at 26 now, but we still got 27 down in Castlegar 35 minutes ago. Very, very warm. Well, the good news is this. We're going to knock that off. We're going to look at Saturday afternoon. Big change. So again, that heat's all moving to the east. We're going to see that fire danger get elevated into the prairies and up into the up into the boreal forest contact up there for sure. As you know, sometime where before Flin Flon, you're kind of running into the boreal forest there, sort of on a line like up towards Fort McMurray, more or less. Sort of south of Fort McMurray, you kind of hit that line of the prairie ways down there, like near Bonnyville. You're kind of coming into it. Anyways, so much different for weather for us on Saturday. We got precip coming in. That's going to help for the caribou and whatnot. But I am concerned still about the piece. We do have 14 degree temperatures there expected tomorrow afternoon, which, mind you, isn't bad, but still humidity's so low that we're probably going to see some active burning nonetheless up there in some of those fires, right? So you can really see where the precip's going to be tomorrow out towards the eastern half of BC, while the western half isn't going to get much benefit. So you're going to get some cooler temperatures, but Alexis Creek, you're looking at still, 27%, that's better, but that's definitely still active burning humidity. And then you look at like 97%. You can see where the precip's going to be tomorrow. You can just tell by where the humidex values are going to be, this and that. So it's really weird for me to see this moisture coming through without thunderstorm probabilities. And it's just, I guess it's because the cold front's moving in through the night. But look at these really dry conditions out in the prairies. Crossover weather, fire weather for sure. And what if we add some wind to all this? Luckily, winds will be pretty dead through a lot of the caribou. That'll help things for us through a lot of the caribou. So I'm going to see some suppression on the fire activity in this region from Prince George to Williams Lake and then over to the Rocky Mountains. Not so much so for over in the Peace. You could still see some gusty winds at times. Hopefully Fort St. John misses that. But if you get even momentarily some gusts of 39, that can wake up some embers and whatnot and help increase fire activity as well. So it's the strong winds are going to be up north of Fort Nelson. So I'm really concerned about those fires up there. Look at some of these values. High, really high. We're in the 60s and whatnot, 70s. Strong winds up there. And 13, like I say, it's still good conditions for fire behavior, even if it's not, extreme fire behavior potential. And you look by Sunday, what are we into? Well, we'll be in the far future by then. But, we're going to be cool for a couple days while that massive heat is moving to the east. I hope that answered some questions for you. Hit like, share, subscribe. I'm the only guy like myself in British Columbia who's going to give you active fire weather updates in terms of not just there's fires out there happening. Here's a picture that I'm going to tell you what fires will be doing because of the weather and the conditions around, right? So things are very dry right now. A lot of areas still haven't started their green up. Very conducive to active burning right now. It's called the spring dip. I've been talking about it on the channel for a while. So hopefully we get some extended period of cool down weather at some point ahead, but I don't know. I'm not seeing. I'm going to make a larger wildfire forecast to look at 2025 more completely, I think, in the next coming days, because I think I really know what I want to say now. It's taken a while this year. I just had this, usually by February I have an idea, where the summer's going, and a pretty good one. And this year I've been kind of I need something to show its face, so I have a clue. I need a clue. One way or the other. And it's a lot of mixing, a lot of clues pulling me different directions. I think I got what I want to say now. So stay tuned to the channel. Hit like, share, subscribe. We'll see you there. Bye now.